and necrophiliac.
And that's how we're starting this one off with.
Dead girls can't say no.
All right.
Wow. Okay, we do. That's okay.
No,
Okay.
we're right at this point. There's no cuts. We're recording.
Look,
We're in.
why do you think necromancers practice necromancy? They can't get a date with the living.
Oh my
They've gotta
god,
get a
that
date
reminds me of
with
that
the dead.
meme I saw. It was like a D&D meme, but it showed a picture of that guy from The Mummy. And it's like, what would you do if your wife died? And a ranger, blah, blah, blah. Like, cleric, blah, blah, blah. And the necromancer's just got a big cheesy grin on his face. And it's like, yeah, I bet you would. The stuff that shows up in Rob Zombie's wet dreams.
Right?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Welcome back to the show, guys. Speaking of Rob Zombie, today's topic is going to be about the horror genre and what has happened to it.
And the kind of horrors genres that we like.
The horror genre we liked, specifically where movies were horror-wise when we were growing up, as opposed to like what our kids are watching, like what they've done to vampires from Lost Boys to turning them into twinkly little,
Sparkly bitch boys.
The only thing at this point Twilight's missing is Edward Cullen stopping and singing Baby Shark.
Do.
So, anyways,
It's my son's favorite song.
that's every child's favorite song, dude.
Man, it's so crazy, man.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me.
My son starts to sing, and I'm like,
We're done. We're done here. No.
I sang it to him.
Go
and
watch
it's
Jaws.
He
This
gets
is
all go watch Jaws.
this is Bon Jovi. Enjoy.
No. I literally told him, like, you want sharks? Go watch Jaws.
If you watch Jaws backwards, it's just a shark trying to give a hug.
It's just shark trying to give. Just a shark vomiting up human body parts, trying to hug a human back to life. He's like Dr. Frankenstein, basically.
Yeah.
It's about a shark building a human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just misunderstood.
He really is.
Yeah.
I would have hugged that shark.
Wow.
I mean, that's a good one to start off with, Jaws. I mean, that was a good movie growing up. Mm-hmm.
I love that movie.
And then they made like a dozen others. I think there was like
3.
I think there was like maybe more. I don't remember. It's been a long time
I
since
thought there was
watched
only
it.
2.
No, I think there's like 3.
I thought there was one.
Jaws,
I thought
Revenge.
Jaws 3, but that was like I'm talking about like that was years later. I thought somebody.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, I don't count that as I don't count that because that's just done by somebody else and just trying to pick up on the Jaws franchise.
Where do you
That's
think
like
Jaws
saying-
fell in comparison to like some of the new horror movies, like was it Megalodon or like Deep Blue or some shit like that?
Megalodon was actually pretty good. I liked it.
Look,
I think Jaws will always be the best.
I can't agree.
No?
Deep Blue Sea was. It was Jaws with a twist.
Megalodon.
That's how I
I don't
feel.
The twist being the shark's bigger.
No, actually, sharks probably about similar in size, but like the twist is like they were messing around with science that made the sharks smarter.
Right. Oh yeah. Right. Now I remember.
Dun, dun.
See, that's just the thing. Okay, so when we're looking at horror movies in our retrospect, we look at what's been done to them over the years. Like, there was a weird period in like the 2000s where like everything had to be romanticized. Vampires romanticized. Werewolves.
Vampires
had
have
to be
always been romanticized.
Like-
Let's just throw that out there. Look at how they did Dracula after a while. Like, he gazed at a woman and they just fell in love with him.
Okay, well, you have to think. First off, Dracula was like literally one of the OG vampire tales. Like, that was a book written in like the 1800s by like a drunken Irishman who's just like, I'm going to put out a book about vampires. And it was a series of like journals and letters. It wasn't like your normal story. So we've actually yet to actually have a movie that truly captures the novel of Bram Stoker's
What? Dracula 3000 isn't close?
This fucking
Somebody
guy.
kick him out. Security.
Anyways, we've yet to actually capture a true version of what that book was. But even though, like, vampires were somewhat romanticized in it, it was very, very rapey. If you like actually look at the book,
That
like,
is
he was straight up stalking, like seducing,
Yeah.
everything
That's
short of chloroforming that bitch.
It's different. Back then, it was his way to seduce to feed. Now it's more just like,
Hey, baby, how you doing?
it's like, I'm just gonna have sex. But
Now it's
before,
like,
it was.
look at me sparkle. Like,
I like
the
Twilight.
fuck?
I like Twilight. It was a good movie.
I didn't care for it. Surprise.
I mean, I liked
Of course.
Underworld too.
Of course, the one that smells.
Underworld was good. I liked
Of
Underworld.
course, the one that smells like a wet dog would like a movie about a wet dog and a sparkly vampire.
Oh, you can eat a fucking bag of dicks.
I was talking about that one.
Oh, I was gonna say I smell like. See, that's what I get for not paying attention.
Looking at
We're in
you
the middle of a show
insulting
and
this
Chris is
one.
not listening. Go figure.
Do I look like a fucking werewolf to you?
Meow.
Did you say meow? I'm always a vampire over a werewolf. I was always.
But look what they've done to the vampires. All right, see, I grew up. I
Yeah.
know a lot of us all grew up on like Lost Boys.
Interview the Vampire.
Interview with the Vampire. John Carpenter's Vampires.
John Carpenter. Yeah.
Bram
Dust
Stoker's
till
Dracula.
dawn. Bram Stoker's Dracula. Dust till dawn.
Dust to Dawn. Yeah.
Yeah, like vampires were
I'm
like
gonna
vampires
throw one
back
out
in
there.
Fright Night. You know,
I'm gonna throw one out there. Not a lot of people even liked Nosferatu.
that's
like
OG.
Nosferatu.
That's
OG
OG.
You
black
talking about
and
the
white.
1920s
Yeah.
or 1918 or something like that? Yeah, Nosferatu,
Yeah,
the black and
I
white.
love that movie.
I had the
Love that
DVD.
movie.
I had a DVD.
When I was younger, that motherfucker scared me.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's
But it was
ironic.
great.
Is those movies never really scared me? Any of the old ones, like as far
Just
as
the way he looked.
Dracula,
And the silent.
Nosferatu, Creature from the Black Lagoon, like none of those really
Yeah,
scared
nobody
me.
scared
But
me, yeah.
it's weird to think there was a point in time those movies scared the shit out of people.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are. Like, what was the scariest movie? What was the movie that scared the shit out of you as a kid?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay, well, I should guess that one. What about you?
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz?
Sorry. The flying monkeys, man. I can't do them. Anyways, no, this movie that's
legit.
Repeating-
I don't think he's bullshitting
repeating
us
it.
here. It's legit.
I'm with him. That's terrifying.
I hate that movie, Wizard of Oz. Anyways, the one that actually scared me the most will probably be, I don't know. See, when I watch horror, I don't get scared really. Like my type of horror is I like supernatural horror. Like I like movies that have like demonic entities more than like I don't like Saw movies. Like I can't watch torture movies. Like I'm that's not my thing. That's not my kind of.
When you were younger, what scared you though?
I don't remember. I'm sure.
I liked Saw though. Sorry to interrupt you, but I love Saw.
Yeah, I
it took
don't-
7 movies to reveal a really badass story, but I still liked it. I
And
don't
then
care for
the story's still going for.
Yeah,
full
that's not my
circle.
genre though. I don't like torture movies.
Yeah.
Like I can't watch like no. I rather watch psychological horror.
Oh, I
than
love
anything.
psychological
Me too.
films. The ones that fuck with your head.
Yep.
Like I love those. But you know what one of my favorite horror movies is, and it's literally not even terrifying?
What?
The Evil Dead franchise.
Oh yeah.
Hands
mean,
down. That is
that's good
my
series.
favorite.
My favorite horror movie is Devil, the one that they're in the elevator.
I don't think I've seen that.
I believe it's called Devil.
I know
believe
what
it's
you're
called
talking.
Devil.
I know what you're talking about. And
Cause that shit's so fuck. I mean, it's fucked with your mind so much throughout the whole movie. Like you don't know what you don't even know what's going on. Like you
Right.
don't, and it's crazy. That's one of my favorite horror movies.
one of mine is actually The Unborn.
I'm born.
Yeah, it's about a Dybbuk demon. It's not even scary. It's creepy. And I have to give a shout out to my buddy John. When we're watching this movie, there was a jump scare, but it was an unexpected jump scare. You know, you would expect it to come from in front of you, and it came from behind, and he screamed like a little girl.
Treasure on the Corn. That's what scared me when I was a kid.
Children of the Corn.
Yes.
That honestly, it was kind of terrifying,
Yeah.
man.
Like the first and second one. After what they got kind of, I wouldn't say dumb, but they got cheesy.
It was Tommy Knockers for me.
I love Tommy Knockers.
Tommy Knockers
Such a good
fucked
movie.
me up. I don't know why. I mean, like I was watching like Alien at the time. I was staying up
Alien.
late watching like Halloween movies. Like I watched a lot of horror movies. Like
Yeah.
But like for some reason, Tommy Knockers, like that shit fucked me up for like a
I
couple weeks.
remember watching that movie. Like
I was young too when I watched it.
my mom rented that VHS, and she's like, "I don't know if you can watch this," and I was like, "I want to watch it." And she's like, it's a Stephen King movie. I was like, it means it's a scary movie. I was like, and I've seen Christine. And she's like, okay, we'll watch it. And I'm just sitting there like, this is awesome.
That
Like
movie
the whole
fucked me
time.
up.
I was gonna say, what was it? Well, start talking. I remember when.
He's like, start talking. I'm looking bad right now.
No, I can't remember what the hell I was going to talk about.
No, I see, and there's a quality that's kind of been lost over the years. Like there was this weird period, and then like the 2000s where they were literally like trying to, like, fluff everything.
Even zombies too.
Even zombies. You had that like zombie film where like all of a sudden he was like getting somewhat consciousness and he was
Oh,
like falling in
yeah.
love with a girl.
Whoa.
What was
was a
that?
good
Warm
movie.
Bodies. Warm Bodies.
Warm
was a good
Bodies.
movie.
But that's not
It
zombies,
was a
man.
good movie. Yeah,
Like
was a
it's
good
not zombies. I mean,
I ain't gonna lie.
But then there's still technically
iZombie.
zombies at the end.
iZombie is a good show, but that is another thing that you're saying. Like they
it's a
kind
good
of
show. I like it, but it's one of those
iZombie,
they
but
fucked,
it's
they
not-
fucked up the genre.
But it was a comic book way before it was ever
That's
a
true. I don't. Well,
iZombie was a comic book.
Actually, I'm
Yeah.
not sure. It was.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, so
Well, that's
but
why they
here's
do the
the thing.
comic book beginning.
Here's the thing: is to me that
makes
that
sense.
depletes the zombie genre. Like, zombies, the only thing they've even had going for them, really over like the last decade, has been The Walking Dead, because like good zombie movies are hard to come by. The best zombie movies are always B films.
says I Am Legend.
I Am Legend was fucking awesome, but it's even that. It's just like, you know, it's always going to be one of my classic favorites.
Resident
But
Evils.
I don't like the Resident Evils.
I liked them. They were good, but it's not.
I liked like the first one, and then after a while, it was just like it got very, very, very like
cheesy.
After
cheesy.
two,
Yeah, it did.
I was kind of.
But
I
if
still
you-
don't consider them zombies, though. I mean, I know they're supposed to be, but to me, they're not zombies. They're just mutations.
Yeah.
Now, you know, if you think about it, they're just mutated humans now.
The most recent Resident Evil game coming out, there's not even talks of freaking zombies in it. Same with 7. No zombies.
Yeah, they just kind of got.
6 is the last one we had any semblance of like zombies.
What about
I want
Village?
them to make a movie off of like Evil Dead. Not
They
Evil
ma-
Dead.
I'm gonna say they made.
No, what's the name of that fucking? Sorry, I feel like an idiot now.
I was like,
I need them to make a movie off of Evil Within.
That would be interesting.
But it's got to be a psychological. Like, I want you to fuck with my head, not with my eyes. Like, I don't want to see gore. I'm fine. I can watch gore. Like, I mean, fuck, dude. My Evil Dead is one of my favorite fucking movies.
Yeah, gore
I'm
is
used to
fine.
gore at this point.
just I don't like
Cheesy
torture.
gore. I mean,
Yeah.
like, but, you know, nothing really phases me gore-wise.
Yeah,
But
I can watch people get their heads cut off, their fingers cut off, but once you start doing like the little nails, cut
Oh,
off,
when you
no,
get
I
into
can't
that
do that.
shit,
man.
like you
Nah.
get into like actual torture, like sticking needles in fingertips.
No,
like
I can't
yeah,
watch
I can
that.
literally. I'm the same way. I can watch somebody get dissected, like
Yeah.
blown to pieces. You do something like give a person a shot, or like stick something in between somebody, like a needle in between somebody's like forearm, or like
Yeah,
underneath that. Like you
I
get
can't,
to one of
no.
them things that's just like like no.
Yeah, nope, can't do it.
Knees too. If I see somebody like a movie where somebody like fucking like breaks a fucking kneecap,
Oh, yeah.
oh hell no! Like that shit just like makes me queasy instantly.
Yeah, me
like
too.
it's
I'm
a little
not
too
into
much.
it. I'm not into the.
You know the game I'd like to see them make into a movie? Fear.
Man, I have not played Fear since like it came out. So like
Fear.
love
Is that the one that you have like the camera and you're in a dark house and you gotta take pictures?
No, you're thinking of
That's not
Fatal
Fear?
Frame.
Oh, okay, that was way off.
Well, there's Fatal Frame. There's also.
I thought it was called Fear. Like you had to go around with the camera too, right? No.
No,
A flashlight
trying-
maybe. Oh, you're in a dark house.
it's Fatal Frame. You're thinking of Fatal Frame.
Fatal Frame.
Yeah,
Okay, that was a scary fucking game.
it was. No,
Oh,
I
that fucking
love
scary.
Crimson Butterfly was so much better. Like
I
Fatal
didn't play
Frame,
that
the
one.
second one, oh, it's the best.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
yeah, it's awesome. We don't even have good scare games like that. No, that's not true. I'm gonna correct myself before I get too far. I played a game, about a year or two. What was it called? Layers of Fear, I think.
I didn't find that scary.
Oh man, dude, I hate dolls.
Oh yeah,
I
I
fucking
do
hate
too,
dolls.
but, like-
when you get to a certain point and there's like just porcelain dolls like falling from the, I'm like,
Oh, yeah, no fun,
fuck
dude.
no, dude. I threw my controller, I turned my TV off. Your brother was staying with me at the time. He's just laughing, and he's like, nope. Like even he was like, nope. That's my mom. We turned that shit off.
I like the Blair Witch Project.
I liked it. I
The
liked it.
second one was bad.
I
The
like
second one was bad.
I like the remake.
I didn't want to watch the remake.
It's
They
good.
remade it?
Yeah, it's good. Like
But
I
they
heard
made a
the
game.
They
I heard
still-
the game's good.
They made a game too.
I heard the game was good. I haven't played it, but
Really?
the
Blair Witch,
remake
like the
movie,
first one.
yeah, the way they redid it, it's still like pseudo real feeling like it, but it's still like you're like, okay, I'm watching a movie.
But they made a second one. Like they made a Blair Witch 2.
We don't
It's-
talk about that.
Yeah,
one.
that was
Book of
bad.
Shadows or something like that.
Yeah,
It was like a real movie.
I liked it for the goth chick.
right.
And I also liked the paranormal activity movies. Like I like them kind of movies.
You know what a goth guy's weakness is?
Goth girls.
Goth girls. You know what an ex-goth guy's weakness is?
Goth girls.
Goth girls. Like, I'm in my 30s and I see a goth girl every now and then. I'm just like,
Bring me them big mummy milkers.
I don't say that. I stay quiet and keep it in my mind. So I was like, I'm a married spud. I'm a married spud. I'm a married spud.
I'm not. Bring me them big mummy milkers. But like I feel like horror movies in general nowadays are just so lame. They're
Yeah.
predictable. Like I mean, I guess going back and watching, all our favorite slashers and
You
Yeah,
watch
stuff
Children
like
Before
that.
now, you'll be like, fuck this movie.
I mean, no,
I don't give a fuck what anybody
no,
says.
I've
You go watch that or Pet Cemetery?
Oh, no. Pet
Oh, I didn't think we
Sematary-
were gonna go there. That's
Yeah.
You don't like Pet Cemetery?
bro.
No?
No, okay, so
No,
here's
no,
the
no,
thing.
no, no. I have a love hate for that movie.
I never care. I like the book.
What the fuck that movie?
Yeah, I like the book.
That's why I have
the
a love
movie.
for it.
The movie was the original was kind of good. I have yet to see the remake.
I haven't seen
Um,
I
actually bought it. I haven't watched
surprisingly
it yet.
really good for a remake.
all right. I mean, I bought it. I just haven't watched it yet. I bought it a couple months ago and I haven't watched it yet. But I do need. I do have to say, like, I personally was not bothered by Pet Cemetery very much, but I can tell you that like both my mother and my grandmother were horribly affected by that movie when it came out, or even the book, because like apparently if you like pull up like a baby picture of me and then you like read the description of the little boy, like it was virtually identical.
Yep, I can see that.
Yeah. Oh, you've
Yeah.
seen baby pictures of me, so
I
it was
can
like
see
virtually identical. So like that, like apparently
I can
caused
see
my
that.
grandma to like close the book and not read Stephen King again for a while, except from Dark Tower, because Dark Tower series awesome. By the way, movie garbage. Just gonna put that out there. The Dark
didn't like
Tower
the movie?
No, I hated the fucking movie.
I like that
I
movie.
hated that fucking.
I like the
movie.
actor. Man.
I love the cast choice. I love some of the twists. I love some of the reimagining of the characters. But I absolutely hated that fucking movie. Now here's the thing. I've heard the concept of like think of this movie as like kind of like picking up where the last book ends, like which spoiler alert, the book ends exactly the way the very first book begins. The man in black is chasing the gunslinger chasing the man in black across the desert. Just basically like it's an endless loop. So if you look at it from that concept of it being just just an endless cycle,
Yeah.
like, and this is think of this as a sequel to the Dark Tower series. Okay, then I don't hate the movie as much. Like I said, I love the characters, reimaginations. I loved I love some of the little things they did here and there with it, but as far as the movie actually goes, like I just didn't care for it. To me, it was not the Dark Tower series that I fell in love with. Like I remember the first time I picked up Gunslinger, I was bored. I just needed something to read. Picked it up, started reading it. I finished that book in like a day. Like I loved that book that much. And then I just kept reading it. And I remember only picking it up because my grandmother loved the Dark Tower series, and I was just like, okay, well, grandma's read this book like 1,000 times, and she's read every book in the series like 1,000 times. It's got to be good. So, you know, like I just sat down and I started reading it, and I'm like, oh, this book is beyond good. This book is fucking awesome. But what we got for a movie, they should never approach that with it as a movie. They should approach it as a TV show, and if they approached it as a TV show, we'd still be getting seasons right now. Like, we'd still be getting, like, just give me a little bit at a time, because there was so much magic in those books. And I'm not talking, like, sorcery magic. That is there. But, I mean, that was not ever brought to light. Like, scenes that were just never, like, I would have loved to have seen, like, portrayed. Like, some of my favorite chapters in the book, like, you know, just never portrayed.
You're off
right.
topic, by the way.
No, I'm not. It's horror.
It's really...
No, it is horror. It is a horror genre. Have you read the Dark Tower series?
Yeah, but
It's got zombies. It's got monsters. Like, it's got, like...
it's a D&D campaign.
No, it's not.
It really is.
It really isn't, though. I mean,
this is a debate we can have all day, because from your perception, you say it's not, but I mean, that literally can be ran as a D&D campaign all day. It's more,
anything can be ran as a D&D campaign all day.
Yeah, but I feel it runs more along the fantasy route than it does anything. I mean, even if I would go to Chamberlain's and ask for Dark Towers, they're sending me to fantasy, not horror.
That's debatable. I mean, it's still...
I mean, I've asked about it. I've gone in there. That's how I know.
Okay, well, I mean, it's whatever. But I consider it a horror genre. It's by Stephen King, a horror writer. It's got elements of horror all throughout it.
I'm not saying it
zombies
because they also I've read from multiple people who not only read the books, but like I've not seen the movie. It just, the movie did not seem to interest me whatsoever. Like, books, yes. Movie, That the Dark Tower itself, the multiple doors that you go through, are supposed to be doors to all the other books in his series.
That's one of those where it's like, the movie did the book absolutely no justice.
Yeah, because the movie didn't portray that at all. Not really. It was more like different. It was more like different dimensions.
There's different worlds. Yeah, there's like a lot of different worlds.
It's like
that's what I'm saying. Like, the world the Dark Tower exists in.
It's
like,
the prime world. It's
right.
like, yeah. And then there's like they get into stuff. Okay, so like everything ties into his universe. Like it.
Right.
That's
what I'm saying. Like, so I can understand the elements of horror, but when you start adding the elements of magic and you start this, that, and the other, it drifts off to a fantasy world.
Okay, but here's the thing: is don't think of it as like magic's constantly present, because that's really not so much the case.
I don't. I'm just saying, like, but the Shadow Man, pretty much.
The Man in Black, he's a wizard. Yeah, he's a wizard, hands down.
I give him a little more of a warlock feel, but
more of a social.
More, yeah, like he's got 2 levels in sorcerer, 2 levels in mage.
I look at him more like an entity personally, like because I mean. He pretty much kills the entire Gunslinger's family. This is why the Gunslinger's hunting him down. He pretty much kills anybody the Gunslinger comes close to. He kills the boy that the Gunslinger protects like multiple fucking times. Like that's where it gets weird. Like there's just like the book easily considered a horror book. Magic is not really as present in it as you think it would be. But it is there because obviously you have a wizard. But the gunslinger is a gunslinger.
You're a wizard,
he is essentially like, think of like
Cowboy.
Yeah, think of a cowboy. That's what it boils down to. He's just like a Texas Ranger traveling in another dimension, like hunting down a sorcerer or a wizard, and like, you know, fighting zombies and, you know, ghosts and shit along the way.
Hey,
you know,
I just want to point this out. That is not helping your case of being a horror movie. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. Like how you said it right now.
If you haven't read the book,
Yeah.
You're gonna argue with everybody's gonna argue with me all day because they're gonna be like, oh, it's sci-fi or it's fantasy, oh, it's a thing, it's that. It's like, okay, well, unless you've read the book, I'm sure there's dozens of people watching right now going like, no, he's right, absolutely right. It is a horror book. It's this, it's that. You know, like, I'm probably screaming about the arguments I'm not thinking of at the time, because if you take that movie and you try to tie it into that universe and you think of the Gunslinger as this is what this was, it's wrong. It's awful. But when you actually think about what's going on in it, yeah, sure, it's fantasy. It's a horror fantasy. You know, it's got those fantasy elements, but is easily everything in his Stephen King's universe can easily be linked back to that book somehow, like in another. That was one thing I liked about that movie was the acknowledgement of Pennywise, and that even though Pennywise is an ancient entity, you know, from outer space, and his arch enemy is a giant fucking turtle. I mean, let's get real here.
And the sister
get real here.
And the sister is have you seen that? Have you heard that theory that his sister or his something is Mary Poppins? Like they're the same being.
It's a theory.
Yeah, I know.
It's a theory. It's not.
They're the
it's
same
not.
they're the same race.
The same race. They
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it can easily be.
It makes.
It's a theory and it makes sense.
It
but
does make
unless
sense.
Stephen King has it penciled in, like it's not factual.
Well, of course, yeah. That's why it's a
Stephen King,
theory.
yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got some work for you, bro.
We got some ideas for you, man. Make Mary Poppins scary.
One is evil. Well, I'd say.
I mean, if you think about it, they're both
one
really
feeds
evil.
on.
They're both
one
scary.
One feeds on like joy, and the other one feeds on fear. I'm just kind of like, you know what I mean. It doesn't make them good or evil.
Here.
Do y'all think they can actually take horror books?
sugar.
I mean, that's actually brings an interesting question. Horror books being made into movies. What is your opinion on it? Now, a movie can be made. My personal opinion, a movie can be made into a book, and the book can be awesome. Look at all the aliens, like Predators, made into graphic novels and books. Fucking awesome.
I mean, they've been doing it to Stephen King's movies for years.
And with Stephen King's, they generally do pretty good.
Only because Stephen King is the one who
Everything he writes is gold. Well, I mean, let's just be
that,
honest.
and he oversees the movies. It's not like they just
Dude,
take it.
dude could write a classic taking a shit on the toilet. I'm sorry.
And
It's
it would
true.
be
Probably has.
Yeah, he probably has. No, actually, you know he treats this like a job. Like Stephen King literally treats it like a job. He has a certain amount of time he sits down every day. Like he types it out. Like this is his job, and that's why he's able to bang out so many books in a year. Like he just sits down, he writes, you know. And no, I have mad respect for Stephen King because I mean, he does like
Definitely.
even stuff like where he comes back and like 20, 30 years later and writes a sequel to something. It's generally pretty gold, like Doctor Sleep. I personally like Doctor Sleep better than The Shining. But outside of Stephen King and outside of we'll say outside of Stephen King, do you think a horror book can properly be made into a movie? Because most examples I've had to go through by is either books like Stephen King's written and they've made movies out of, which generally are good. But take in like H.P. Lovecraft for there has not really been really good quality H.P. Lovecraft. They're all B quality films, like Dagon, B quality. It was not. I love it, but it wasn't one of those like I would watch it a billion times.
Right. I feel like they could if the writers would take the same approach that Stephen King did. Mm-hmm. Be like, look, make it a movie.
I think it's hard to do that with his
But
books.
you know, I have to be there for the direction.
Right.
I have
But
to
like
be
I
able to
said,
sit down
it's hard for writers because the only reason because people fucking it's the you know what I mean.
Lovecraft was a brilliant mind, but
Yeah.
his works. Okay, so like in the older years, they were able to do like some of his things were translated. What was it called? Like the shit, I can't think of the movie. It's like Witches or something. I don't know.
No, I know what you're
Yeah.
about. Like, but I'm talking about like
That was pretty good.
Lovecraft aside, like recent writers and stuff like that, they have the ability to be able to go out there and do that, write a horror. And if they're like get approached to be a movie, they have the capability of sitting down and be like, "This is the direction we're going."
But I think it generally ends up not good. And that's personally speaking, I think it always ends up not good because you look at stuff like Anne Rice's stuff. Interview with a Vampire was pretty good. I liked it. It was a good movie. It was a great book. And then you got Queen of the Damned, which isn't really even the book Queen of the Damned.
No,
It's like the Vampire Lestat. And it's just kind of like, what is this? Like, how did you go from badass, like, kind of storyline to a good movie? Because I loved Queen of the Damned as a movie, but as far as did it do her books justice? I don't think so.
No. We'd even, and Queen of the Damned is when it started turning about how modern vampires are portrayed now. Queen of the Damned was like, it started to do more like, I want to say like it got Hollywood. I don't know.
It got very, very Hollywood.
I don't know how else to put it. It got kind of like, Lestat was like, I mean, I know, he was like a very sexual person, but in the show, this is like, that's all they really, the movie, that's all they just made him so sexualized and like, I'm so fucking hot. And Queen of the Damned lady was like, I'm hot too.
Kasha. It was Kasha, right? Yeah. And she was hot. She's queen of all vampires.
That's Mama right there.
Yeah. We are not worthy.
Then you
Except
got
for the whole 5 minutes where it's actually a man playing the role, not Mama.
They need to make a Vampire the Masquerade movie. Or TV show.
I thought they did.
They did make a movie?
I'm pretty sure they did
TV
make it.
series.
Yeah.
They made a TV series?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that there was a Vampires Masquerade TV series.
Yeah, it was actually. I think it was an HBO series.
Is it-
I'm gonna pull my phone out right now and look it up. I'm
it
pretty
good?
sure there was one.
I remember.
I remember
sure
seeing
was a
something,
kid.
and I could have sworn it was Vampires Masquerade, and it
And
was.
they're supposed to be. They're making 2 games. I know that.
Yeah, but I don't like all the games are so like, to me, they're
In
like
1998.
they're like too. I don't like the games that they have out now. Like I know they're supposed to be making like a Bloodlines 2 or something, but the ones that come out, like I don't like that kind of game. Like I don't like it's like a story based. I don't like story based games.
Kindred the Embrace is an American television series produced by John Leakley
I watched that. Never
Productions
mind.
and
That's
Spell
Vampire the
Television.
Masquerade.
This
Oh.
is based on Vampires Masquerade.
I remember. Yeah,
1996.
I used to watch. Yeah, Kimber. Yeah, I watched that. Okay. I didn't get the
And
whole
then there
Vampire the
was-
Masquerade vibe from it.
Vampires the Masquerade. There's another one.
Yeah, I thought there was an actual vampire.
Yeah,
show.
there is apparently.
I'm gonna try to look for
There,
it.
but there was a couple of different shows actually based.
You know what I'm waiting for them to do? Werewolf. I want them to do Werewolf.
It's White Wolf. Right?
No, White Wolf.
White
Games-
Wolf is actually the production. People.
Yeah, Werewolf is.
It's still a version of Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah.
Yeah, White Wolf is the production.
I'd
The
like
White
to see
Man.
some better werewolf movies, man. The last decent werewolf movie I think I even saw was
Underworld.
no, I don't consider that a decent werewolf movie. I mean, of course, I'm always gonna love the Ginger movies.
They're pretty good.
A Werewolf in London.
I like the werewolf thing that I don't remember the name of the movie. It's fairly recent. It's like he was a soldier, and he was like a werewolf, but he worked for like the government. He was like a soldier, and it's like
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, he was like, I think it was like a B-rated movie, but it was pretty good.
Dog Soldiers was pretty good.
Maybe that was it. He's a soldier, like in the army.
No, Dog Soldiers is they were running a military drill and like a practice thing in the woods, and it just happened to be
Oh yeah.
be a bunch of werewolves
Okay.
in the same woods, and they end up like hiding in a house, and then I think the house actually ends up belonging to the family who is the werewolves.
No, this one is like everybody knows this guy's a werewolf, and everybody's like they always like, talk shit to him and stuff like that because he has to keep his cool. He can't like blah blah blah. But then of course they need him because they're not a werewolf and they're fucking side is fucking terrorizing. So they're oh my god, we need a werewolf. Pretty much. I mean, it wasn't like that, but that's
I
pretty much
remember I
what it
watched this one B werewolf movie. It was great.
It was pretty good.
This blind dude moved into pretty much a community of werewolves, and he had to tiptoe around for a while. One came in, started trying to mess with him, and he ended up killing it. He had to bury it, and everybody else starts getting suspicious and stuff. Yeah, no, it got hectic. It was pretty cool.
See, I love the approach with werewolf movies whenever they approach that, like, they're a werewolf, but, like, they're not. The wolf is its own creature. Like, it's its own thing. I love the movies where it's like turning into the wolf becomes a terrifying experience, because it's like they don't want to turn into the wolf, because, you know, they go out and fucking kill shit. Like, they had that one TV show about werewolves. The first season was like fucking awesome, and then like the next 2 seasons was just like every other goddamn fucking vampire show where it gets a little too
Better.
Yes,
I like that
first
movie.
season. Awesome.
I like that series.
Every season after that, it was like too much. This is not what I'm.
It was. It
looks
became
so
it became Vampire Diaries.
Basically,
It
but they
did.
do that with everything.
It did, but
Yeah,
I liked
just-
it because I like Vampire Diaries. I don't give a fuck. I like the movie.
I don't care for that kind of stuff. I mean, like when I watch something, Originals was closest for me, but even then they kind of got weird. Like it's always the first 2 seasons. Whenever you're basically telling the story of like just like Bitten, the way they did the first season, fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Anything after that was just like, come on now. Like I love those kind of stories where they're actually focusing on the fact that like these are monsters. Monsters do what monsters do. And instead, eventually, it always becomes like some in-depth love story and like a soap opera because she's fucking the brother and she's fucking him, and then the sister's kind of looking hot too at this point. It's like I don't care for that. I'm watching a monster show because I want to watch monsters. I don't want to watch a teenage romance novel. Like, you know, I want to see a
Don't watch
monster.
Shadowhunters.
I want to see monsters. I don't want to see like this lovey-dovey shit. Like, and that's the thing is what they're not. I don't think Hollywood at this point is taking in consideration the people who you are going to make money off of with horror monster movies. They're not wanting to watch the romance shit. They're wanting to watch like
That's the problem.
ginger snaps. That's what they want. They want something like that.
But that's
You know?
the problem. Like,
It's everything's romanticized now.
yeah,
The whole
and it's gonna be
yeah.
like that now.
And that's just how it is, and until it gets to the point where
'Cause
it's
that's what-
completely stupid.
That's what the younger generation watches.
They have to be able to target multiple markets with it. And
They don't.
They don't.
They don't. They go for teenage female audiences mostly. This is because that's what
I
I
guess
don't
I'm
know.
a teenage female.
It seems like. What?
Well, I believe that wraps up this episode for this evening. I would like to reapproach this on another episode in the future.
Definitely.
But as always, stay tuned. Like, follow.
V Wars is a pretty cool show.
That sounds familiar, but I'm drawing a blank.
It's on Netflix, and it's a weird, and I wouldn't say weird, but it's a cool concept of a vampire because it's more
It's
like
where
a
it's a
virus.
disease. Yeah, no, okay,
Yeah.
I remember.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
Sorry.
stay tuned. We'll be back again, of course, in a week. We've got Danny's card readings going out weekly now. You can look for them on Tuesdays at 7:30.
Yeah.
And
We're going to be working on getting a Patreon set up to help fund those card openings because it is cost effective. They're expensive.
In my pocket. No, I'm joking. Nah.
like, follow, comment, interact. Tell your friends about us. Tell your friends about Danny.
Tell your mom.
Tell your mom. She already knows about him.
Remember, Batman sucks.
I gotta turn the cameras off. He's getting his ass.